It's been a good moment. He's sharing with me so many wonderful things about not letting anyone steal the awareness of our crown, or excuse me, not letting anyone take our victory. And yesterday, talking with family, I thought about how, what do we do when we sin? Yeah. The Lord said something really funny, and that was, he had me say, you can put on the armor of God. You can put on the garment of praise. You can even put on the white robe of righteousness. Just don't put on the fig leaves again. That's interesting. We look at Moses. He messed up. We look at Abraham. He messed up. We look at Adam and Eve. They messed up. King David. He messed up too. But there's a difference in those. And the first Adam, when he messed up, ran away from God. The second Adam always ran to God. And he never messed up, because that's Jesus Christ. But all the other people who were considered friends of God, Adam was at first too. The voice of the Lord walked with him in the cool of the evening. But Moses spoke face to face with God as an old friend. And what did he do when he messed up? When he struck the rock, when he was told deliberately not to, he went to God. King David, he messed up. He committed murder. And he ran to God. And I think it's really interesting how Jesus wore the crown of thorns on our head, wore the crown of thorns on his head, which was all the worry. But we get to wear the crown of victory, which is our awareness, our relationship with him. I think that's interesting. And when we look at garments in the Bible, garments represent things put on us and around us. So if we look at our spiritual garments, if we look at the robe of righteousness, well, that's Jesus's character. If we look at the garment of praise, that is the joy of the Lord. If we look at the armor of God, that is our identity that he has given us. That is our relationship with him solidified. The helmet of salvation is what we wear on our mind to remember his goodness. Remember that he has saved us. It's what he has done. But what he has done becomes our identity, becomes our healing, becomes our provision, our health, our happiness, our righteousness. But it's from him. So anyway, with that, when we mess up, we all are going to mess up at some point, because we're all going to, at some point, forget to look at Jesus, forget to walk with him, forget to talk with him, forget to listen to him. When we do, it's only our heart that will smite us. I know that sounds intense, but God is greater than our heart, and he knows all things. So that means that it's only us that know that we've separated ourselves from him. God has made that place for us, that provision for us. While we were yet sinners, Christ died for us. He preemptively paid for it. So in that moment, instead of running away and putting on the fig leaves again, no, we run to him. And just like the prodigal son ran back to his father from the pig pens and all the muck that he got himself into, we let Father put his robe of righteousness on us. We let him put the colors of his character on us, and we continue to walk. You know, when we think about God, yes, he is God. And there is no other God. There is literally no other God. But what he did was to bring us into this place, to restore that which was lost, and that was a relationship. And in a relationship where he calls us friends, not in the place of, who is boss, but in a place of relationship, there is equality. There is mutuality. There is trust and respect. And it's interesting to think that God gives us that. And he's always wooing us, for lack of a better word. He's always coming to us. He is building that rapport with us. And so in that he gave us dominion and he gave us sovereignty to make that choice, that means relationally, in matters of the heart, he came to our level and brought us to his. If we look at marriage, there's an equality, there's a mutuality. I think God was trying to tell us something, is always trying to tell us something. And it's also interesting that if we look at where leaves are worn in the Bible, if leaves are worn down in lower regions, it represents shame. But ironically, leaves worn in the upper region, like the head, the laurel crown that the Greeks wore in the Olympics, it's interesting that represents victory. Something to think about. I mean, the thing to think about, I guess, is where do we put the blessing? Where do we put the emphasis on what God has done for us and what he does with us? So with all of that, this may seem a little bit serious, but add a little bit of humor into this. If you mess up, go back boldly before the throne, because through this grace, he has given us access to his throne, to his heart. So put on the garment of praise, put on the robes of Jesus' righteousness, put on the armor of God, which is your identity and remembrance of everything he's done for you. But please, don't put the fig leaves on ever again. That's not who you are. You are more than conquerors in Christ Jesus, who gave his love for you. Blessings.